Good morning, everyone. This is my mini module, and my topic is about the parts of speech, which is the verbs and its types. So, by the end of this lesson, learners are expected to define verb, explain the function of each verb type in their own words, analyze sentences to correctly identify and categorize the verbs used, and apply their knowledge to write sentences with a variety of verb types. Okay, so to start the lesson, I would engage you students to have a fun warm-up activity called human verbs. So I would call out a verb and you guys will perform the action. So this will help you to be physically connected to the idea that verbs are about doing. So the first action is jump. Next is walk. And the last is run. Okay, guys, so thank you for participating. So now, let me ask you a question. What is a verb? Do you have idea now that you have performed the warm-up activity? If you say verb, these are the words that expresses an actions, an event, or a states of being. So let's say, for example, to run, to jump, to think, and to exist. Now, let us discuss the types of the verbs one by one. So first, we have the action verbs. So these show what the subject is doing. So for example, she runs every morning. So here, the runs is the action verbs. And the next is they laugh loudly at the joke. So the verb here is to laugh. Now let us move on to the second type of the verb, which is the linking verbs. So if we say linking verbs, these connect the subject to a word that describes or rename it. So for example, he seems happy. So here, the linking verb is the seems. So next is the cake smells delicious. So the linking verb here is smells. The last type of the verb is the helping verb. So these help the main verb to show tense or mood. So for example, she is singing beautifully. So here the helping verb is the is. And the next one is they have been waiting for hours. The helping verb here is the have and the been. Now, let us walk through the formative assessment and activities that align with the taxonomy levels. So first we have the retrieval. So students would complete a simple verb hunt on their worksheets. So they simply have to find and circle the verbs in the three simple sentences to show they can recall the basic concept. For comprehension, they would explain the job of each verb they found. This requires them to put the definition into their own words and explain what the verb is doing in the specific sentence. For analysis, we will do the verbs family tree. Students will read a series of sentences and classify each verb as an action, linking, or helping verb, which requires them to look deeper at the verb's function within the sentences. For the knowledge utilization, they will apply what they have learned. I'd ask them to write a short creative paragraph about their favorite hobby, making sure to include at least two action verbs, one linking verb, and one helping verb. The metacognitive system, students would be prompted to reflect on their own writing habits. They would be asked to think about whether they use the same verbs repeatedly and then set a personal goal, like using three new verbs this week, along with a strategy to achieve that goal. For the self system, we will have a discussion about the power of words. I would show two descriptions of verbs and one with a simple and the other one with strong descriptive verbs to demonstrate how verbs create a stronger mental picture. And for the discussion question, it would be why are verbs so important for telling stories and for effective communication? So this encourages them to see the personal value of the topic. So this module would conclude with a summative assessment which is a two-part quiz. So this part tests their ability to identify and classify verbs in sentences. So for example, no, they'll have to read a sentence like the cat chased the mouse. So and identify chase and as an action verb. So and this is the second part. So it requires them to apply their knowledge by writing their own original sentences using the types of the verb. So do you have any questions? So if none, thank you for listening. Bye.